Today's recipe will be in two parts. First, I'll show you how to make the pork chops before making the fried rice. I'll be making 4 servings today, so I'm cutting 4 loin chops here. After slicing the pork chops, I'm gonna tenderize it with a meat tenderizer. This will ensure a juicy and soft pork chop. Now to start on with the marination of the pork. Firstly, I'm gonna add some shaoxing wine or tiao. I'm adding about a tablespoon or so, before adding in about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Following that, I'm adding a teaspoon of white pepper powder, before adding a teaspoon of 5 spice powder. Be careful not to add too much because it is very strong tasting. Here I'm adding half teaspoon of baking soda. This is to help tenderize the meat and help form a nice crispy crust. Now I'm adding 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. This is meant to help the marinade stick to the pork chops. Before adding in about a teaspoon of soy sauce, light soy sauce, and salt to taste. I'm adding about a quarter teaspoon. Gonna add about a tablespoon of oil. This helps to coat the meat as well as prevent it from sticking when you're deep frying. Now just use your hands and mix everything well. It's best to leave this marinating for at least an hour, but best to leave it overnight. Now onto the rice. Here I have 2 cups of cooked Taiwan pearl rice. You can use any short grain rice, or actually any rice if you like, but short grain gives the best texture, especially for this sort of fried rice. It's best to use day-old rice, but here I'm using fresh rice, which you can do so as well. I'm just spreading out the rice in a thin layer so that it can cool down and dry out quickly. This is a very simple fried rice where the main ingredients are just rice, spring onions and eggs. Here I'm slicing the white portion of the spring onion as thinly as possible. And slicing the green portion into slightly larger but still thin slices. Moving on to the eggs, here I'm separating the egg whites and egg yolks. This is optional, but doing so will result in a much more fragrant egg fried rice. Okay, now all the prep for the fried rice is done. Let's move on to frying the pork chops. I'm gonna be shallow frying these pork chops, so in a frying pan, add some oil, about a centimeter or so, just enough to cover the pork chops when you fry them. Heat up the oil over medium flame to about 180 degrees Celsius. And prepare some cooling rack to put your fried pork chops on, or some paper towel to just drain the pork chops after frying. Here I fried the pork chops for about 2 minutes before it was done. I'll continue to fry off the other 2 pork chops. If your pan isn't so large, it's best to fry these in small batches so that the pork will cook evenly. Now the pork chops are done. Now let's move on to frying the fried rice. In a wok or a pan over high heat, I'm gonna preheat and add about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'll start by first frying the egg white. Just scramble these and take it out once it's cooked. Now in the same pan, after removing the egg whites, add about 2 tablespoons of oil and add in your egg yolks. As you can see, I'm starting to scramble the egg yolks and it's starting to become very fluffy and it smells very fragrant. After it's nicely fried, you can add in your egg whites and give it a good mix. Okay, once the egg is nice and fragrant, I'm gonna add in the rice. Keep in mind to keep everything on high heat so that the rice doesn't lose temperature and you get some wok hei in the fried rice. I'm using a ladle here and using the back of the ladle to flatten the rice and help separate each individual grain of rice. Here I'm adding about a teaspoon of oil on the edges of the pan just to help fry the rice better. Okay, now on to seasoning the fried rice. Here, first I'm adding half a teaspoon of salt, before adding half a teaspoon of chicken powder, and finally half a teaspoon of white pepper powder. Now just add in your prepared seasoning and give it a very good toss. Once all your dry seasoning is mixed up, I'm gonna add in some soy sauce along the edges of the pan. This helps to bring out the nice fragrance of the light soy sauce. To finish off this fried rice, just add in the rest of your spring onions and mix it all up. Your fried rice is now ready to serve. Just slice up your prepared pork chops and top it off on the fried rice. And there you have your pork chop fried rice. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. Do remember to like, share, subscribe and leave comments down below.